All right, so let's jump straight into it. Zombie members. So this month, obviously, it was going to be marketing, but I had a chat actually with Remy here, our marketing guru, and marketing it's such a big subject, and it's kind of never ending. We could have just gone on and on and on, and felt like the more we gave you guys, the more confusing it might actually become. So instead, we went, all right, let's break it down to the most successful, most powerful and proven unpaid method of getting new members and paid method of getting new members. Something that we know we can deliver you guys in a succinct, less than an hour workshop, and more importantly, that you guys can actually use. So we've stripped both of these workshops right back, not just to be as understandable as possible, but to be as usable. So this month is, when we call it the 20 member month, that's not just a cool name. That's exactly what we want, borderline what we expect, because if you can't get 20 members out of the zombie members and the basic ad blueprint that Remy's going to teach you guys, then something else is seriously up. These are two very, very powerful methods. So we're going to jump into zombie members first. Obviously, when I talk about zombie members, what we're talking about is ex-members. Why do I call them zombie members now and not ex-members? A couple of reasons. Number one, zombies are cool. So that's all the reason we need right there. But mainly, this is one of my most frustrating systems or strategies to teach, because when done, and when done right, when there's just a little bit of effort put into this, it is so incredibly powerful. Depending on how long you've been open and how many ex-members you've got, obviously, but it's nothing to see someone pull 20 members within a month just from this one strategy. It's also one of the least adhered to strategies or methods that I've ever taught. And for years, it drove me absolutely insane, thinking, why, it's so simple and it's so easy, and yes, it's a little bit uncomfortable, but it gets results. Why aren't people doing it? We're going to cover a lot of those reasons and try and break down some of those barriers today. But I essentially renamed it because I know a lot of you guys are sick of hearing me talk about ex-members. So this is kind of like pouring a little bit of honey on the vegetables for your kids. Whatever I've got to do to get you guys to eat your veggies, if I've got to call it zombie members instead of ex-members, so be it. It's absolutely worth it. I'm just going to move this light a little bit closer to you guys, because I know how important it is for you guys to see my beautiful face. There we go. Look at that. Isn't he handsome? All right. What we're going to cover today: number one, why I love zombie members. Number two, getting your mind right. If you go into this with the wrong mindset, it doesn't matter what you do. It's all going to fall apart. You're going to half-ass the effort. You're going to not treat the zombie members the way they deserve to be treated. So we have to get our mind right before we do anything practical. Then we're going to talk about curating your zombie list. How do we take this big list of ex-members and what do we do with it? How do we get that down to something that's usable and manageable? Building a zombie offer. If you don't give your ex-members a good reason to come back, on top of the fact that you're a great gym, you're a great coach, all of that stuff, it makes it a lot harder to get people over the line. Then we're going to talk about how do we actually connect with them. We're going to show them that we give a shit. We're going to go above and beyond, more than almost any other strategy that we teach with this one. Then we're going to look at the follow-up. The fortune is always in the follow-up. It's the biggest missing key from any marketing strategy for most people. And then we're going to talk about how to keep hunting zombies after that. In case you can't see, I'm loving the zombies. All right, before we get started, just a quick show of hands. Who here has chased ex-members or zombie members before? Who's put, at least, whether it's just a single call to a single member or you've gone all out and tried to chase other members? Yep, beautiful, good. I should hope so. This is, I almost struggled whether or not this should be a 1 hour workshop with a bunch of slides, or whether this should be a 30-second video of me explaining it, because it would take less than 30 seconds to explain the general overview. It's not rocket science. Print off a list of ex-members, reach out to them, get them back in. It's pretty simple. But again, there's that adherence thing. I've been teaching this for years to hundreds of box owners all around the world, and the adherence just wasn't there. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take it and break it down to the littlest element for each step, because I think that's what's missing when it comes to, do we do this, don't we do this, is all the little things that individually are a small deal, but together they make it up. All right. Why I love zombies. All right, ex-members. When we compare ex-members to, fresh leads off the street, new members walking straight in. Number one, ex-members are ready now. We know that they've had an interest before. As far as a hot lead goes, this is about as hot a lead as you could possibly ask for. Not only do we know that they want fitness, but they want specifically your kind of fitness delivered specifically by you and your team in your location. This ticks every box that we could possibly imagine. We don't have to wonder whether or not we're marketing to the right people. We're not kind of throwing shit against the wall to see what sticks. This is sniping. This is very, very specific targeting of people who we know are qualified. Number two, they cost nothing. This whole process, besides the lost cost opportunity of maybe 1 month of membership and a private session or something like that, that's it. We're not going to have to put out hundreds of dollars into marketing. We're not going to have to put any money anywhere. They're free people who are ready now. This is why I'm so passionate about this. They fit into your community. Again, we know that they vibe with what we've got, that our culture is going to match their values because they've proved that before. Every time we bring in a new member, it's awesome and it feels so good, but we don't know if they're going to fit. Maybe they're going to be a good fit, maybe not. We put as many systems in place to kind of mold them into our culture as possible, but they're still an unknown. On that, actually, no, we'll move on. I'll come back around to that. And then, sorry, notes are important because my memory sucks. There's no new member nervousness. There's no on-ramping where you have to go through all the movements and educate them. There's no high-risk member phase where, they're going through that first 2 weeks and they've never been sore like this before. They're sore in areas they never thought. Maybe they don't feel like they're fitting into the community. They're doing a whole bunch of movements that they've never seen before and are foreign to them. And as an adult, it's hard to suck at things sometimes. That's the danger zone. We all know that when we get a member through the door, the highest chance of them quitting is going to be within that first 2, 4, 6 weeks. That's why our 2, 4, 6 week retention strategies are so damn important. We don't have to worry about with these guys. We're going to still do a few little things to make the transition from, being back on the couch or doing other fitness things into our gym. We're going to make that as smooth as possible, but it's a lot easier transition compared to going out and chasing random members. But before we can do anything, before we can print off our ex-members list and start calling and sending video messages and getting all excited, we first have to get our mind right. Like I said, if you don't go into this with the right mentality, you're doomed from the beginning. So a few things to keep in mind. One thing that's not written down here I'll mention right now is zombie members are less exciting, right? And that's okay, but it's something that we have to be aware of because our brain is naturally going to be attracted to be drawn to things that are a little bit more exciting, that give us that little win, the little tick in the box feeling that like, yes, we get to go home at night going, hell yeah, I signed up a new member. I took this person who'd never heard of CrossFit before and I showed them the light, the way, and now they're part of our community. That's a huge boost, right? We've all been there. Signing up an ex-member isn't as exciting. It's still exciting. It's still awesome, but you don't have that shiny new member feeling. And that's okay because that means absolutely nothing. That's just a warm and fuzzy that we get every now and then inside us. But we have to acknowledge that it in the big scheme of it all, trying to change people's lives, trying to create financial freedom for ourselves and our team, it doesn't mean shit. Okay. So the main reason when I taught this and I saw some boxes having such just exceptional results from this, and then the majority of other boxes never even giving it a go or giving it a go and really half-assing it, I had to take a step back and say, okay, what's going on here? Why are people so scared of it? And it comes down to what I call the ex-girlfriend effect, right? We're very passionate about what we do. We're not selling doodads and knickknacks. We're selling ourselves and what we've created and the blood, sweat, and tears of the box and the coaches that we've trained. And it's all very personal. And then we bring in these members and we have very personal relationships with them and we grow and, we call each other family and a community and all of this kind of stuff. And so when someone decides to leave, that's a kick in the guts. That sucks. It's not a nice feeling and it sticks with us. That horrible taste in your mouth sticks around for a while. And so it can be a little bit hard to kind of go back to that well And that person who, we're over exaggerating by saying they broke our coach and box owner heart, but they decided to end the relationship, not us. And that can make it a little bit uncomfortable and awkward to go back again, right? Now, this is all true. This is, you feel it and you know it, and whether it's conscious or subconscious, this is kind of what happens. But when we take a step back, we realize none of that was real. There's a million reasons why a member will quit. And as much as I'm a proponent of taking responsibility and owning every single cancellation, the truth is work might have got busy, their priorities shifted, they had a kid, something else happened, they were going through personal stuff outside. And as much as we try and, be a part and help all of this stuff, most cancellations are entirely out of our control. Yeah. And to think that this ex-member has, to be honest, even had a thought of us since they canceled is probably a little bit narcissistic on our behalf. The truth is, we kept doing what we're doing and living in this world and the community, and that kind of bad taste of them leaving us in our mouth. They canceled, went and had dinner, and then moved on with their life, and probably haven't thought about us. So it's very unlikely that they have the same uncomfortable feelings that you have. And you start to see this when you reach out to people. You don't get people awkwardly picking up the phone or replying to a message saying, oh yeah, it's not an awkward interaction. It's awkward usually from our end for these reasons, but usually when you get the message back or when they call back, it's nothing but positive, right? All they can remember is the positive times that they have, but they haven't really thought about us since then. So they're not your ex-girlfriend. You don't have to overcome this awkward scenario of reaching back out to someone. It was a business relationship that they decided to end a long time ago for a million reasons, most of them nothing to do with us. Number two, once we got that nonsense out of our head, number two, you cannot lose. You can only move forwards with this. Again, we're not putting money on the line. We're putting a little bit of time, but relatively very little time when you look at the minutes per member breakdown. I've got, this kind of goes with the next point. They're currently not a member, right? They can't get any less a member. If I have 100 members and I start the zombie member strategy, I can only go up from here. Right? If I reach out to someone and they don't respond, or they say, no, I'm not interested anymore, I'm exactly where I was 5 minutes ago. I cannot go backwards. I can't lose money. I can lose minimal amount of time, and that's fine. This is as much of a win-win-win-win-win strategy as possible. And again, keep in mind, our goal is to get them to be a member again. But they can't be less of a member than they already are. They're already as not a member as they'll ever be. So this is your opportunity to shoot your shot with absolutely zero consequences. And then lastly, I know that we're including this in the marketing, and we are trying to get, we are trying to get members back in the gym. We're trying to make more money. That's okay. We don't have to feel bad about that. But this is about connecting first. Yeah. And this is one of the big, when I looked at the people who were doing really well and the people who weren't, or the way that I would send messages, and then, seeing the video messages that some people who weren't having great results were sending, it was because they treated this like a marketing strategy. It was straight up, hey, Jenny, we haven't seen you at the gym for a while and we'd love to have you back in. So, and it's just too aggressive. Right. Again, we had a relationship with these people. That was the strongest part of what we had going on. So we need to lean on this. If we'll talk about this a bit later, but if you know their kid's name or their husband's name or their dog's name, or if they left so that they could start a new job, you ask about the job. If just maybe through social, without being creepy, that they started a new sport, something that can be tied back to training back at your box, we're going to mention that. This is about connecting with again, I hate the family members thing. It's a bit tacky, but with family members of our box who we haven't seen for a long time, go into it with that mentality first, and people will be a lot more open to hearing the offer when it comes around. All right. Before we move on, any questions, quick questions before we move forward? Any experiences you want to share? Hands up. By the way, guys, if at any point during this you do have any questions, you can either pop a little hand up or you can pop the question in the chat. Feel free. All right. First thing that I hear, but isn't this uncomfortable? Yes, absolutely it is. absolutely, we do everything that we can to make sure that the interaction itself isn't uncomfortable. But is this going to be uncomfortable for you? Yeah, almost certainly. There's definitely some people who can crank out video messages and it's, they're fine with it. I'm not one of those people. Fun fact, every single video that I've ever shot, which is almost 600 for Vive Group over the years, has been wildly uncomfortable. I've got 3-minute videos that took me 3 hours to film because I just couldn't get it right. I hate being in front of the camera. I was sweating like crazy about 15, 20 minutes ago before this, because even this makes me nervous. I hate being in front of the camera more than most things in business, right? I would probably rather do tax than be in front of a camera like this, but I do it, and I do it a lot. Why do I do it? Because it works. So isn't this going to be uncomfortable to send messages, to send video messages and see yourself and hear yourself repeating the same thing over and over again? Yeah. Who gives a shit? Why does it matter? If you have your goal, which somewhere here buried under bits of paper, if you have your 3-year and your 1 year and your 90-day and that dream, the ultimate affiliate, the ultimate lifestyle, if you're willing to look at that and go, I want this, but I don't want to get too uncomfortable to achieve it, then, shut down, walk away, save yourself a lot of heartache. Yes, this will be uncomfortable. Just prepare yourself for that, accept it, embrace it. It will also get results. So if you're happy to be a little bit uncomfortable to get more members, then this is definitely for you. All right. Let me see if I can't move this over just a little bit so you guys can see a bit better. All right. Step 1. After we've got our mind right, now we're going to get into the practical stuff. We're going to curate our zombie list. So we're going to print off a full list of every single ex-member that we've ever had. Now, one thing I want to make really clear about this is we're focusing on the highest value leads. I hate calling our ex-members leads, but in this case, that's kind of what they are. We're focusing on the highest value leads first, which is the ex-members, because they've validated their interest and willingness to pay and willingness to stick around and all of that stuff, that they're as hot as it possibly comes. Once we've gone through that list, you can absolutely take this whole process and just repeat it for the next tier down. So you've got ex-members, and then just below them, you've got people who came through. Maybe they did your on-ramp. Maybe they did your on-ramp. They got all the way up to almost signing up for a membership and then dropped off. They're great. They're hot leads. They went through a lot of the same journey that your ex-members went through. They just didn't, hit that last bit. So your conversion rate's going to be a little bit lower, but there's no reason you don't do exactly this process for those people. And then your next list down is going to be everyone who did the on-ramp but didn't move on after that. Next list down, everyone who inquired but didn't do the on-ramp. You've got, man, if you've been open for more than a year, you've got an incredible list of really high value leads to chase up. If you've been open more than 3 years, that list is huge. That list is going to be uncomfortably long. So this is how we're going to do it to start with, the zombie members, but there is also the other layers of lists to this. Cool. So first we print out the entire ex-member list or put it into a spreadsheet. I'm a print guy. Pop it into a spreadsheet. The only real curation that we do is going to be to remove the nightmare members, to remove those members that you were glad that they quit. You thought, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. You never, ever, ever want them back. Have a quick look through, cross those members out, and that's about it. That's about all the filtering that we're going to do. We're not going to prioritize members because, again, your list is probably going to be so big that you'll spend so much time going through it and umming and ahhing over each person, and your insecurities, your discomfort is going to sway you towards making that list as small as possible. I don't want that list to be small. This is a numbers game. I want a nice, big, meaty list. If every one of these people took us 5 or 10 minutes to reach out to, fair enough. But they don't, they're going to take 30 seconds to reach out to, a minute at the most. So you may as well just go through and crush that entire list. When I say we're going to keep everyone, that includes overseas members, members who've moved out of town, members who have maybe even joined another gym in another town. Let's say you've got a member and they move to another country. Why would I possibly reach out to that member? Well, number one, This is about connecting first. Yeah, first and foremost, if all you're doing is just reaching out saying, hey, Jono, it's been ages. We miss you. We love you. Let me know how's life going now. I saw that you're doing paddle boarding. That looks awesome. Let me know what you're up to. Cool. That's just a feel-good moment, and you did the right thing and connected with someone.
I'm not sure I understand.
Chill out, Siri. Jeez. Jumping him down my throat here. That's just a nice thing to do. Yeah. But at the same time, that person who, they've moved countries, but they still have family, friends, co-workers who still live in the area. So there's two ways to play this. I like to go for the more aggressive way. I'd let them know that we're doing a membership drive. We're trying to grow the gym. It's okay to say you're trying to grow the gym. It doesn't make you sound desperate or anything like that. We're trying to grow the gym. And when I thought about getting more members, instead of, marketing to randoms, I thought, what kind of members would I love a gym full of? And you know what, Remy? I thought about you, buddy, right? Remy's my ex-member living overseas there. Number one, flattery is the best. Anytime you want your members to do anything, right? If you want them to help you with something like this, especially with referrals and the like, if you say, I'd love to have a gym full of you, I thought, what kind of members do I like? And I thought, you know what, Remy, I'd love to have a gym full of Remys. So I know you're in London now, you're in Bali now specifically. If you've got any friends, family, co-workers who you think might be interested, the deal that we were going to give to you before I forgot that you're over in Bali, you can pass on to them. Yeah. At a minimum, at a long play level, anyone from home who this person still talks to, absolutely still talks to, if they ever bring up just on the off chance, something to do with fitness, they want to get fit, they're starting a new sport, they're trying to, fit into their wedding dress in 9 months, whatever it is, Remy is at least got us in the back of his head. Or, and I have seen this happen a bunch of times, proactively, Remy might, this might have been such a nice little surprise connection that Remy will actually go, you know what? Yeah, I was talking to my buddy from home last week and he did mention something about it. I'll pass this offer on to him. Cool. So what I'm saying here is your brain is going to try and cross off as many people as possible to make your life easy and to let you avoid discomfort as much as possible. Do not do it. Everybody stays on the list. Now, the last bit, you can break this rule entirely. It's not a hard and fast rule, but as a general rule, I start from people who canceled 6 months ago. I like to give people a 6-month cooling down period. If your list isn't that big, you might change that to 3 months. Yeah, but I don't want people who canceled last month. I don't necessarily want to be hassling them right away. I want to respect their decision to cancel, whether they were unhappy with our service, whether they got a new job, life got crazy. I'm going to respect that for a little bit, give them a little bit of breathing space. Cool. Any questions, thoughts, queries before we move on, guys? Hands. I'm not doing that great a job of explaining it. Come on. I'm going to start on purposely messing this up so you guys have to ask some questions. All right. Now, once we've got our list, our nice, big, meaty list, as big as possible, more people, the better. Now we're going to build an offer. Now, this isn't going to be a crazy offer. We're not going to go deep. We're not going to spend too much time on this, to be honest. But I do have to acknowledge that there's a few realities that our zombie members are facing, and we need to acknowledge that and try and help them out as much as possible. So first we have to ask, what are our friction points? What are some of the things that these people might be experiencing that that might stop them from wanting to come back through the door? And you know what, we're cruising through this nice and quick, so I want you guys to jump in and let me know what I've been away from your gym for 2 years. I kind of want to come back, but I've got a few buts. What are those buts? What are those friction points? Sandra, Andreas, fill me in. What do you guys reckon? One person at a time.
A lot of the times when the guys come back, they have the expectation of where they were, and then like, oh, I can do this still. And then they come inside thinking that we're expecting them to be like these superheroes that were back at the box, a year ago, 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
Injuries are very likely and stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely right. Their brain's writing checks that their body can't cash. Yeah, they've got that little bit of rust, a little bit of capacity lost. Skill, fine motor skills lost, absolutely. And they have a tendency to come back in, and they know how they would have gamed that workout 2 years ago. They go in hard and fast and everything explodes, and you've just lost them again. You had them back 5 minutes and now they've blown their knee out and you've lost them again. Absolutely. So we've got to deal with those friction points. Sandra.
I don't know.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We kind of cheated by taking them all up on you there, but they're the main ones.
Yeah.
Right? There definitely is a little bit of the social side of things. They were part of a community that they're now no longer a part of as well, right? We can fix that by adding in or by timing up, the messages that we send to come along with, one of our non-training based social events. So inviting them along to a barbecues, barbells and beers, that kind of thing, inviting them along to a Tough Mudder, something that's outside of the gym, but they can be a part of the community again. So yeah, basically it's capacity, it's skill, and it's social. Anything you can see that I'm missing there, Remy?
Yeah, I would say if they left also is sometimes because they weren't getting the results.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you find a good reason to follow up with them, because now you also help with nutrition, or now you also help with accountability coaching or something like that. Now you have a good reason to follow up with them. And you can be like, you can even say, we were not providing that before in the past. I understand why, you left the gym. I want to speak with you, and we really want to help you get the results, because that's really what they care about at the end of the day. Why would you go to a gym otherwise?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Tying it in with any improvements that you make, any new programs that you're adding, maybe we didn't. If you honestly think that they left because you didn't support them with, nutritional training, mindset training, that kind of stuff, own that. Don't diddly daddle around it. Say, you know what, in hindsight, when you were here 3 years ago, we weren't offering all the services that we now realize we should have offered. So not only have we upgraded and improved bits and pieces here and there, but we've also added in this nutritional training, lifestyle training, mindset, whatever it is. So yeah, absolutely. Acknowledging that there were more services that could have got them better results that you weren't offering, that you now are. Absolutely. The trick there is to weave that in to your 30-second video message as smoothly as possible without going, because that alone is very easy to go on and on and on about, as I just did. Weaving it in where it's kind of a side point that you're acknowledging, and then getting to the offer, getting to the invite is a big deal. Absolutely. Thanks, Remy. That was a good one. We missed that. Make it a no-brainer. Zombie pun. First and only zombie pun of the whole night. Make it an offer that when they see it, yeah, obviously I'm going to go back. I love these guys. I've been there. I know it's good. All that validation is already there. I just need a good reason to get off my ass and get back in the gym. And this offer that they've just given me, and we never say offer. We never say, hey, and Remy, we'd love to have you back. So here's my offer to you. Not at all. I do like the word invite. We use that a lot, but it's not going to be an offer. The easiest one that I've seen is just a complimentary month or a month on us. I've written free here, but we never say free to a member because it devalues that month. It's not a free month. It still costs, but we're just going to cover that cost for them. And we let them know that that's to kind of ease back in. They don't have to come back and start training 3-4 days a week. They don't have to come back in and start going hard out. If they feel like, doing the on-ramp program or your beginners program again would be of benefit to them, cool, throw that in. Who cares? We're here for the long game. I'm trying to get a member back that's going to be a member again for 5, 6, 10 years. That lifetime value is enough that I'm more than happy to give them a month. I'm definitely more than happy to give them an on-ramp or beginners course or something like that. And then the other one that works really well is a skills session. When we look at capacity and soreness is one half of what one friction point. We're going to fix that with the ease in month of classes. The other side of it is the fine motor skills, just the, touching up on things. We don't want them to feel dumb. If you've ever done something, well, I'm sure we've all experienced it with the barbell, but I know with something like guitar, you play guitar for years and then you put it down for 6 months, you pick it up and you feel like a complete moron. You think your hands are all backwards. So we're going to get them past the shitty part with no cost, no obligation by throwing in an ease-in month and a one-on-one private skill session that can just be 30 minutes, doesn't have to be a full hour. I keep it pretty simple. I'm not going to throw in any gimmicks. I'm not going to throw in a free protein shaker and t-shirt, because that now it starts to feel like an offer. Now it starts to feel like a bundle. It starts to feel a little bit like a marketing ploy, right? And it is a marketing ploy, but I don't need them knowing that. I want this to feel as organic and from my heart as possible. I absolutely want them to feel when they receive this video message that they were the only one that received that video message, that I took time out of my day to specifically send them that video message, which I did, but I also sent it to 50 other people that day as well. So that is the zombie offer. Any questions, any thoughts, anything you guys think would work in there that I might have missed? No, all good?
I like the private skill session. Also, what you could do probably is just taking an hour to get to know them.
Yeah.
And be like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we never took the time to really get to know you.
Yeah.
We speak at the gym, we chat at the gym. I really want to get to know your struggles. I really don't want to get to know about your goals. If you have a body composition analyzer, let's do a body composition analysis. I really want to get to know you on a deeper level.
Love it.
So a private skill session, yes, or also it can just be about getting to know them.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I'm a big fan of 15-minute goal setting sessions, specifically aligned to their personal lives. I think it's very arrogant to just set fitness goals. You know, fitness isn't their life. It's there to empower their life. So we look at their life, who they want to be, who they see themselves, who the hero version of themselves is, and then go, okay, well, let's set some goals that are gym goals, but they equate to being that person that you want. So I love that. What you could do is turn this into a 45-minute skill session with a 15-minute goal setting session and connection at the end. Love that, Remy. Killing it, man. This is why he's here. All right. Next step, the most important step. Show them you give a shit. This is one of the biggest points of frustration for me. When I finally get box owners to do this, to do the ex-member zombie member strategy, and then I find out that they just sent a mass email, it absolutely breaks my heart. Not only do they send a mass email, but look, I've seen boxers, and if you're watching this and you did this, sorry, not sorry, it's the wrong way to go about it. Where they just, hey, everyone, and that's the email. Even if you have CRM software and you can use a merge field to put their name in automatically, it's still obvious that this was just a bulk email sent out to everybody. The worst example is I've seen a box do the hey, everybody email and then just CC the whole gym in. And then obviously every time someone replied, it was chaos, absolute chaos. The bigger problem there with that specific gym as well from memory is one ex-member was not happy with the service they'd had. And so when they jumped back and had things to say about it, everybody got to see it. It was not a good way. So look, these members, they're former members, right? Again, I keep going back to it. We have relationships with these people. We care about these people. This isn't just a random lead that we've got no connection to yet. This is someone we know maybe deeply, right? We know their friends, their families, their pets. So we've got to give them the respect that they deserve. Also, we have to look at what's going to work, what's going to stand out. People get 1 million SMSs every day, Facebook messages, Instagram messages, emails. Like this is all just noise to them, right? A video message, and I'll be honest, I used to say you can do either a video message or an audio message. I don't say that anymore because video messages just work better. So just do a video message. It's as uncomfortable as an audio message. They both suck. But the video message works way better. They get to see your expression. They get to see that you care. And look, if it takes a little bit of practice to be on camera and not be this boring, neutral, resting bitch face type person, do that practice. Because they need, when you say, oh man, it's been so long since we've had you in the gym, I'd love to have you back. They have to see you and believe you. This is a big, big, big deal. So show them that you give a shit. They deserve better than an email. They need to see your face. Get excited, get personal. There should be hype. There should be energy to this, right? It shouldn't just be another, hey, Sarah, Ty here from the gym. It's been ages. That's boring. She's going to fall asleep. And if it sounds like you're just repeating what you've said 50 times before it, then they're going to pick up on that. So it needs to be exciting. It needs to be personal. It needs to be from the heart. When people say, how many of these should I do a day? I say, start with 10 and then keep going until you can't smile anymore, until you lose the ability to show expression through your face. And you will eventually. The first 10 are your warm-up. The first one will suck, even if you've done this last week. The first one, it's a bit rusty and it takes you to about 3, 4, 5, and you start getting the hang of it. By the time you get to 10, you've got the little patter, you've got the beats down pat, and you know what you're going to do with the phone. If you're going to do a little whatever, I like to do a little pull away from my chest, whatever. You've got it down pat. So now that you've got it down pat at around 10, you keep going and you keep going until eventually it starts feeling insincere because you're over it. Your face just starts to fall. Anyway, I got this on my wedding day. I physically couldn't smile after an hour of photos. So the last half of the photos look like I'm just super pissed off to be there. That's when we want to go to, until our face can't do it anymore. And then lastly, finish with a question. Ideally, finish with a connecting question, something that has nothing to do with, you've already put out the invite. If they're going to take you up on the invite, they're going to take you up on the invite. Pushing them at this point isn't going, finishing with a hard question like, so when would you like to come in? That's very pushy. It's very marketing. It kind of takes the shine and the feel good off this whole thing. I like to keep it related to training, but I'd love to know, what are you doing right now for training? How's your training going? I personally throw that question in, or a version of that question, because number one, it's a nice, easy, soft question. Obviously, I'm their coach. I care about training. I care about them. So that's an obvious question for me to ask. But for most of these people, what are they doing for training right now? Nothing. So I've just forced them to realize that. I've just forced them to make the comparison of, so let me know, what are you doing for training these days? Oh, shit, nothing. Kind of sitting on the couch, getting fat and lazy and sore. Not like when I was at CrossFit ABC. I like that question personally. But if you know something about them, their job, their kids, they've moved country, their dog's name, how's little Fido doing? Something like that. Throw a question out there. This shouldn't feel like a one-way communication. This shouldn't feel like a television commercial. This should feel like a conversation. And a good conversation, you say your piece, you ask a question, let them say their piece. Cool. Questions, thoughts, queries on showing them you give a shit with video messages? Yes, Andreas, hit me, buddy.
Just I don't know, a little bit of interesting question.
Yeah.
In my case, it feels a bit interesting. So what if you had a client who left, they went to another box, but you don't know if they're necessarily happy there, but you anyway had a good connection with them and stuff, and you obviously cared about them and stuff, of how their training went. I would imagine I'd still phone them anyway, or give them like a video message, be like, hey, how you doing and stuff. And then right at the end, maybe just like, how's their training going? How's their strength levels and stuff like that? I don't know, something more directly with their training, or.
Yeah, 100%. So this is a really common question at seminars is, what if I know or suspect that member is now training at another gym? Do I reach out to them? Is that considered poaching? Yes and no. Right? Yes, you reach out to them. No, it's absolutely not poaching. I hate the word poaching until I see a box owner sneaking up on a former member or a member that's moved to another box with a pith hat and a big comical net and then jumping and capturing that member. That'll be poaching. Everything else is, look, they are offering this. I'm offering this. You go wherever you see value. I'm not going to hassle you and say, you know what, I heard that your coach over there is actually a bit of a jerk and he's a bit of a dodgy guy. Maybe you should come back. It's never going to be that. That's disgusting. But absolutely letting them know, you know, hey, I'm not sure what you're doing for training now, but if you're interested, we'd love to have you back. This is how here's the offer, here's the invite. By the way, let me know how's training going. What are you doing for training right now? They hit you back and say, oh yeah, I'm actually training at CrossFit XYZ. It's been great. You know, I miss you guys, but I'm really happy here. You go, oh, this is the hard part. And this is the part that people will miss. If you treat this like marketing and not an opportunity to connect, that person will send you back a message like, hey, thanks for reaching out. You know, great to hear from you. I'm actually training at CrossFit XYZ now. And it's, you know, it's great. They're cool guys over there. I do miss the gym, but you know, this has been real fun. If you don't reply to that message, it looks bad. That is when they can feel like, he was only reaching out to try and get me back as a member. You know, it's just marketing. It was bullshit. That is also when they can, because again, they're part of a close community as well. So they can turn up to the box owner and be like, hey, you know, Andreas is sending me video messages trying to get me back. If all you do is send, again, another video message, it has to be the same level of excitement, the same energy and sincerity, saying, oh, dude, that's awesome, man. They're great guys over there. I'm stoked that you're training somewhere where you're going to be looked after. Say good day to Eddie and the team for me. And yeah, if there's ever anything I can help with, let me know. If you ever want to drop in, we're here anytime. That's a sincere, you know, you can't fuck with that. No one is going to look at that and think that you had nefarious intent there. Yeah.
I must say one thing, something that's like I realized afterwards when I think we did our workshop last time, then we ended up kind of bringing up this topic as well. And after I kind of thought about it, I realized I'm actually doing this indirectly because just we had clients that like left and I just on a regular basis, just contact them and see how they're doing in general and be like, hey, you know, this is what's happening. This is what I'm doing currently at the box and just kind of like sharing information and finding out what they're doing and how their training is going. Yeah. And like indirectly, they'll just be like, hey, I want to join this event. Or sometimes they just want to support a bit because they're at another place training, but I'm just kind of like curious how they, you know, how they're doing and stuff. So I was not directly like realizing I'm doing it, but I'm just kind of contacting them to follow up. So yeah, so it was actually quite cool concept. And I definitely see it does work because yeah, generally it's just nice to see how the guys are doing as well and how everyone's lives are and showing that we still care and we're still doing what we love and, you know, they were part of it.
Beautiful. And you hit the nail on the head there, Andreas, with that's what a good system is. That's all this is we're taking best behaviors, right? Best practices, things that we've done just on a whim or we've trial and errored, you know, over 10 years and we've worked out that this was the nice way to do it. We're taking those best practices and just turning them into a system, just applying it at large in a way where it's scheduled. It can become a habit because it's in our calendar. And we know that we're going to do it every time. You know, we're not going to wait until the mood comes across us to reach out to someone. We know that, oh, it's Wednesday. Wednesday is when I do 20 of these video messages. You know, that's all a good system is. A cleaning system. You're not cleaning any different than you would when you do a good clean. You're just taking that best practice and making sure it happens every single time. So yeah, you're already doing the zombie member thing, man. All we're doing is just going to give it some structure, make sure that it happens when it needs to happen, turn it into a habit, keep it running. Love it, man. Thank you for sharing. Nice.
I think in the past,
yeah,
we considered it as luck because we just felt like, oh, by luck they came back or something like that. Yeah, so that's quite cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We're going to create our own luck with this system. Another common thing. Hand goes up at the seminar. Ty, how do I contact them? Am I going to send them a video through email? That seems weird. I've only got their email. Do I do it through Facebook? We got WhatsApp. No one really uses Facebook over here. It's Instagram. The answer is yes. Don't get caught up in the details. If you have to film this on a Betamax recorder and then post that tape over to them, do that. I don't care. This is a question that your brain is throwing up to try and slow the process down, to try and get in the way of doing it. Like I said, video messages is the preferred way to go. There's certain platforms and ways to connect with people where video message makes sense. You know, obviously Facebook message, Instagram, WhatsApp, SMS or MMS through their phone, that all is pretty normal. If all I had was someone's email, would I really do a video and then email that video to them? Yeah, sure. Absolutely, I would. Ideally, I can connect with them in another way because it's not ideal to send them to email someone a video. But what have I got to lose? Kind of goes back to the start of this. I send them an email and they think it's weird that they got a video in an email. I don't know why anyone would think that. Like, yes, it's not super normal, but if the content of that video is good and sincere and from the heart and has a lot of energy, then they should forget about that pretty quickly. But if email is the only way you've got to connect with this person, sure, send them an email. This is one of my least favorite questions because it just doesn't fucking matter. You just connect with them any way you can. Don't let the minutia get involved. If the fact that they don't have WhatsApp is going to stop you from getting that member back, you have way bigger problems than a zombie member program. That's a massive mindset issue. You should be just a bull charging ahead, and something as small as what platform to use really doesn't matter. So what platform do you use? How do you contact them? Use the best platform that you have on hand, but don't let not having the best platform possible stop you from contacting them. All right. Another mistake that I see commonly when people go, oh, Ty, I've done this ex-members thing. I'm bored of it. Just because you call it zombie members doesn't make it cool anymore. Awesome. But did you follow up? Did you send out 400 video messages and then that was it? Nothing, ghost. It's not enough. People are busy. A message comes through, maybe they don't see it. Message comes through, maybe they see it, but don't have time to reply. Maybe they see it's a video message, but they're on a train, don't have headphones, and so they can't listen to it and then they forget about it. There's a million reasons why people might need a little poking and prodding with this. Yeah. So once is not enough, you are absolutely not bothering this person. All right. You are not reaching out to them and saying, hey, have I got a deal for you today? Monday, 50% off. This is about connecting. All right. You're not bothering someone when you're trying to connect with them. What if it doesn't work? What if they're just not interested? That's absolutely okay. I'm not bothered because, again, we can't move backwards, but let them tell you that. Yeah. Don't assume it. Don't let your own insecurities go, oh, they probably don't want to come back and now they're annoyed at me and they probably hate me and they've got a photo of me on the wall that they throw darts at every night before bed. No, they're just busy. They've got shit going on. Maybe they need a little bump. Maybe they need a little, hey, just check it if you got my above message. I'd love to connect with you and hear how you're doing. That would literally be my follow-up audio message. It would be 10 seconds, nothing. Then I notice here our follow-ups. Now, if you want to be aggressive and just go follow-up video message, follow-up video message, follow-up video message, I support you. That's great, right? This is more for people feeling a little bit, wanting to taper it down a little bit. An audio message is the first follow-up. The second message is fine. And then text messages after that are fine as well. All right. All of these end with a question. Give them a reason to get back to you. If you go through all of this and they're not interested, cool. They're not interested. I'm going to give them 6 months. I'm going to let them cool down for 6 months unless they tell me, hey, dude, go away. I'm not interested. Please don't call me back. That's fine. No dramas. I appreciate that because you've just saved me time next time around. You were never going to come back anyway. Now I don't have to, worry about spending time next 6 months. We're all good. No stress, no love lost at all. Cool. Any questions on that so far? That all good? All makes sense? Follow up. Awesome. All right. Lastly, we're going to keep hunting zombies. When have you ever watched a zombie movie and they killed all the zombies and at the end of it, they went, wow, good work, guys. We got them all. That's not how it works. There's always more zombies. Maybe that zombie, that next lot of zombies is your next list down. All right. But at a minimum, maybe that the next batch of zombies is literally you just working through your list. All right. If you've been open, let's say a pretty normal one, right? Let's say a gym that's been open 6 years, it would be completely normal for them to have 300-400 plus people on their ex-members list. All right. By the way, when you go through this ex-members list, be prepared for it to be a bit of a kick in the throat because it's not fun to realize that you've had that many people leave, right? But you get over it. I'm not going to go through 300, 400, 500 people all in one go. It's too much. You're going to burn yourself out. You're going to turn into a robot saying the same thing again and again into your phone, and it'll stop sounding sincere. So maybe you really go hard out and you do 50 people this week, 50 people next week. Oh, awesome. Yeah, good one, Remy. Thanks for that tip in the chat there as well. For those who are watching this on replay, Remy said, make sure you take a screenshot if you send the video via email as a thumbnail. Absolutely solid. Or if you can send it as a gift. Solid, man. I love that. Show them what they're seeing. Yeah, good one. Yeah, so you're not going to go through all 300, 400, 500, 200, whatever, of these zombie members in one go, right? You might get through 50 this week, 50 next week, make a nice hard push. And then it's completely okay to just back it off and turn it into a weekly habit. Add this into your perfect week, whatever day of the week you've got set up for acquiring new members for marketing. Usually we do it on a Tuesday. So every Tuesday, I'm going to spend 20 minutes, which is nothing, going message after message. I've got my list here. If you say you got 20-minute AMRAP, I've got my list and I've got my phone. Go. How many people can you get through in 20 minutes? At least 20, probably 30. Do that every week. Do that 52 times a year. What's the cumulative effect of this? How many of those members are you bringing back into your gym? Why isn't this, if you've got you've been around long enough to have a big zombie member list, you've got really good referrals, really good retention, and you're actively trying to get those members back in, that absolutely can be enough. You can absolutely, at least for the next few years, survive on the members that you're getting through referrals, through ex-members, and then making sure that you've got your retention tied up tight. So create a weekly habit out of it. And then every 6 months, you go back to the start of that list. So that same member that was number one on your list when you first started this, which is going to be tomorrow. Awesome. You guys committed. Good on you. You're going to get that person again in 6 months' time. And then again 6 months after that, and again 6 months after that. Because now, if they say, no, go away, I hate your face, your beard is silly, don't call me ever again, then after we finish crying, we go, okay, no worries, we cross them off that list. But if we don't get the result that we want, if we don't get them back in the gym, then we give them 6 months. Maybe their life changed, they get a new business, things settle down, they moved away, they come back, whatever. Again, there's a million reasons people's lives can change in that next 6 months. We go back again and we start at the top of that list. Cool. So we keep hunting the zombies. All right. And that's almost it. So before we wrap up, any final questions, any experiences that you guys have had, whether, hey, this worked when I chased ex-members, or hey, we tried chasing ex-members and it didn't work, or any tips that you've got to throw in there as well, Remy? Anyone for anything?
Well, I had one member, she quit because she had a burnout. Mm-hmm. And I found it very hard to choose the words to, how to get her back, because I didn't know how she was doing and what I could say and that kind of things. Yeah.
So in situations like that, when sometimes we know that it was something bad that happened, a death in the family or a personal medical issue or something like that. Sometimes we know that, sometimes we don't, which is more dangerous. We don't want to put our foot in something. So we just kind of, we just circle the subject. We just kind of lightly let them know that, hey, I know some life changes caused you to leave a little while ago, but I just want to reach out and see how you're doing now. If you're in a position where you can come back, we'd love to have you back. I know it can be hard because you've lost a bit of capacity. You feel like maybe your skills are a little bit rusty. So, we appreciate that. We empathize with that. So what I'd like to do is give you, the free month, the skill. You go through all the breakdowns, but most importantly, I'd really like to know how you're doing it and what are you doing for training these days. So that's how I'd go. Worst case scenario, whatever they're going through, if you don't want to hit it on the head directly, you had some life changes. That's a nice, easy, it could be positive, could be negative. It's very ambiguous. Yeah. Good stuff. Any other thoughts, any questions, any experiences to share? No, all good, all happy. Beautiful, guys. Nailed it. Holy good night. This might be the first ever workshop that we come in under an hour. Watch out. All right, so the next workshop, here's one to get excited about. So next week, I can't remember which day it is, but Remy is going to be running the paid ads workshop, the simple ad blueprint to get 10 new members this month. I think that's the full title. This is just the shortened title. Do not miss out on that. This is awesome. There's a reason Remy's teaching this, because he's the man at this stuff. So yeah, make sure you RSVP for that if you haven't already. To anyone who's watching this on replay, please, please, please drop your comments below, drop your thoughts below, any experiences you've had below. And definitely if you've got any follow-up questions or anything like that, please let us know below. Anything you'd like to see Remy specifically talk about in his workshop, jump into that event and drop a comment down the bottom of that event as well. We're going to check that before the event. So that's your chance to kind of get your own little questions in then as well. But besides that, guys, if there's no other questions, thoughts, experiences, thank you so much. That's Zombie members. I can't wait to see you guys get after it. This isn't just a thought experiment. I want you guys chasing Zombie members this month. I might even, we'll see, I might even put out a little contest, a little prize to see who can get people back. We'll see. But guys, thank you so much for showing up live. Anyone who's watching this, thanks for the replay. And I'll see you, all of you guys in the tribe tomorrow. Appreciate you.